he's one of those guys, bro, that has ideas that are above and beyond the understanding of the WWE. So I just hope that that doesn't wind up hurting him in the end.
So speaking of heat, we got CM Punk, ladies and gentlemen, getting ski washed by Jon Moxley on the previous episode of Dynamite. It was a champion versus champion. It was the real champion versus the interim champion, and basically, for some odd reason, they decided to do it on free TV. It seems like the pauper rating. I don't know if it was Tony Khan trying to compete with Triple H thing and trying to pop the ratings. It seems like that might have been the case, but they just did it straight up. I mean, CM Punk actually said in a promo that he was going to compete against Moxley at All Out. But then the same night, toward the end of the show, they're like, oh, yeah, well, that's going to be next week on Dynamite. So people are like, it might be a screwy finish and MJF might be involved or something like that. But no, it was straight up. CM Punk goes for a roundhouse kick, and an overhead kick, and he sells the fact that his ankle was messed up, and that led to 2 finishers by Jon Moxley, and just like that, it was over. So my thing is that ending of the match, and there's rumors that they'll do a rematch. Why do you think that they did it on free TV? Do you think Tony Khan is making these decisions now intentionally trying to one up and compete against Triple H?
Gosh, bro, it's so funny because, I'm a big fantasy baseball player, right? And, bro, you've got to manage, you get 1,400 innings pitched for the year, and you've got to manage like daily. And, bro, you always want to throw like 2-3 pitches out there a day. And if you do that, you'll be out of innings by September. But like that's the knee-jerk reaction you want to make, but you can't. You got to sit back and watch, other teams pass you by knowing, bro, they're going to run out at the end. I think that's exactly what happened here, bro. And I could tell you, bro, I'm being totally honest with you. When WCW was kicking our backsides, we never booked that way. We worried about our own house because we knew if we wrote a good, solid show every week, eventually they were going to tune in. I think it was a definite, bro, knee-jerk reaction. All the talk, it seems like all the positive talk right now is on the WWE. A lot of negative talk on the side of AEW. It definitely feels like it was a knee-jerk reaction. And they went over 1 million viewers for the first time in a long time. But I say this all the time, bro, you've got to be able to sustain that. You can't one time if they're back at 950 next week, what did it really accomplish?
Correct. Yeah. Same. I mean, that's what happened with Punk at Rampage. Yeah. They lost almost 500,000 viewers within weeks. You know what I mean? Just that popped the rating, but they lost almost 500,000. You know what I mean? And so that it's consistency. You did work with Dexter Lumis as you were in TNA as a consultant, so it wasn't like hands-on, but you did have some conversation with Lumis. How was it working with Lumis or Sam Shaw?
Bro, it's funny because, this was so ridiculous, bro. When I was consulting, it had to be a big secret. So he didn't even know I was working at TNA. We really started talking through DMs, bro, when I stopped working there as a consultant, and I think when he was released, that's when he really started picking my brain of like, bro, he was dead set on getting back in the game and making it, and he was so driven and so committed, coming up with different ideas, bouncing them off me. I would bounce them back off for him. So he was really dead set on making it and getting that opportunity. I just hope, again, bro, listen, I told you, I've dealt with Elias a little bit in a creative capacity. I dealt with Dexter Lumis. He's one of those guys, bro, that has ideas that are above and beyond the understanding of the WWE. So I just hope that doesn't wind up hurting him in the end, where he's got better ideas than they've got, and all of a sudden, bro, he's difficult to work with. I hope that doesn't happen, because this is a great character. This is a very driven and very, very smart individual, bro.
And you said this before, and it bears repetition. People who are committed to the character in that capacity just makes your job easier as a writer.
Absolutely, bro.
Because you're not spending so much time and energy and effort, making ideas and making someone a character that they're not really invested and passionate in. When someone really spends time to invest in a character like a Sam Shaw, like a Dexter Lumis, you can appreciate that because it feels authentic.
Absolutely.
So the wrestlers and the crowd is looking into that, and they're looking at an extension of that person.
Bro, that's how I looked at it. Every man and woman on the roster, bro, they were thinking about their character 24/7. I'm thinking about 50 people.
Yeah.
So that's why when they come to me with ideas that I know they've been thinking about all week long, bro, arms wide open. I mean, Rock was like that every week. He'd come to me, he'd have new catchphrases for the week. I would send him the show early. He would look over what I wrote and said, bro, this is great, but what if we did this here and that there? I welcome that. It's the ego, bro. Like I never understood it, because Chris, I don't have one. My job was to put on the best show possible. Whether it came from me or Austin or Mick, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
My job was to put on the best show possible, and the more input I got from the talent, the better the show was going to be. Yeah. Bro, they did the thing, bro, with Dexter Lumis.
Yeah.
He dragged Miz out, and then he's appearing on NXT.
Yeah.
Like, wait, I would never write anything like that. That's in that, because again, bro, I'm always thinking as a casual fan. And a casual fan, if they happen to be watching both shows, wait a minute, he didn't get arrested. Where's Miz? Did he kill Miz?
Right.
There aren't police officers at that building. Like, bro, you gotta connect the dots with all this stuff.
Yeah. Well, if there was any continuity from what I've heard, he got arrested after he did the whole segment with Indy Hartwell.
So after he carried her out of the arena, so they waited for him to carry her out.
Yeah,
that's what I mean, bro. It's like, come on, bro. Like,
yeah. I'm big on Lumis, man. I think that they can do a lot with him, man. And I hope they do. I hope they don't mess it up. Because the thing is with Lumis, though, he never got he's never been on the main roster. So they have an opportunity to not mess this up. But the thing is, you gotta stop appeasing to the house. You gotta stop doing that, man. Like that, to me, it was like, okay, well, let's appease to the house real quick. And let's tie up some loose ends on NXT and have them do the Indy Hartwell stuff. Casual friends don't know anything about that. So there's it's not necessary to tie loose ends, because the house is going to watch NXT anyways, right? Yeah. So from a casual standpoint, we don't even know that there's loose ends to be tied. So don't do that to dilute the character.